Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems, commercial and residential fire and life security systems. Just one of the reasons to call Safety Systems. Another one is their audio video. I tell you about that all the time. They do fantastic work. If you're looking for a home theater system, you're not going to find anybody in town that does the work, the craftsmanship that they do with the equipment that they do at the pricing they do. Safety Systems. All right. Got about 20 seconds for each of you on one of these questions. I'm going to start with Will and Chuck. We've messed up how we're supposed to be seated, so we're just going to Will and Chuck here. Do you think Jonathan Kongbo's interception and touchdown, and it was right to him because he was playing defensive tackle,
Yes.
do you think that is a turning point moment for Jonathan Kongbo, Will Overstreet?
Yes, I do. In general, I think a lot of players always have those experiences of one play shows you that you can play in that league, that you have that moment of excitement that you want to relive again and again. And having a play like that can change a player's perspective of not only their abilities, of where they belong, but also of that team celebrating around you. And all of a sudden, the fireworks going off when you hit the end zone. That's a big deal that you want to try to relive. All of a sudden, that can change your attitude.
Chuck, is this a turnaround moment?
Oh, yes, it's
think?
a huge turnaround moment because go back a week or two, there was a bigger likelihood that Kongbo was going to transfer and leave than there was he was going to be on the field and make one of the best plays of the whole season.
Yeah. I'll say this. I thought it was telling that his teammates went nuts for him. There were some people that were on this team that left and everybody just went, yawn. I thought this guy may be an issue too because of the tweets that kept coming out. Teammates sure didn't seem to feel that way. That told me something.
He's an impressive defensive tight end.
Right.
There we go. They should have put Jalen Hurd in defensive tackle. All right.
All this time.
20 seconds for Bob and Jimmy. Speaking of malcontents, would Tennessee be East Division champions this morning if Jalen Hurd had quit before the South Carolina game instead of during the South Carolina game?
I think there's a decent chance they would have. One, you've had the transformation in the team's attitude, the offensive team's attitude, and two, I actually think that you've got a better running back in there in Kelly. Not better compared to Hurd's overall career, but just better now with what Tennessee has on the field this season.
Better than Hurd this year, yeah.
And better with the scheme, too. I think he is a really good zone read. I agree with Bob. I think probably. Now, the thing you don't know is I think Dobbs played maybe his worst game in the last 2 years against South Carolina. So if he does that, maybe you don't get over the hump. But I just think this team has enjoyed playing with each other so much more. I thought it was evident in the Tennessee Tech game. It's carried over. So I think probably.
Yeah, I do too. All right, last one here. Vexed by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt wasn't supposed to be a challenge this year. Look how competitive they've been in the SEC. 3-point loss, 7-point loss, 7-point loss, 1-point win, 7-point loss, 9-point loss, 21-point win over Ole Miss. Remember when everybody was in love with Hugh Freeze? Now I'm sure they want him fired down there. This team is for, and their offense looks like the kind that could put, 600-700 yards on Tennessee's defense right now.
In the first half.
1 to 10, 10 being the scariest. How worried, scared are you of Vanderbilt right now? I don't want to say scared. How worried are you about Vanderbilt right now? 1 to 10, 10 being most worried.
8.5.
8.5.
7.5.
7.5 is where I would go. 9.
I had it at 8.
That's the Cavaliers line on worry. You had it at 8. You woke up this morning. It's rising throughout the game. All right. When we come back, by the way, I do want to remind you. Hey, look, there's a cup. I do want to remind you, coming up Thursday, we got an in-depth preview of Tennessee Vanderbilt. That's Thanksgiving night. We're moving to 11 o'clock for the Sports Source kickoff. 11 p.m., so eat your turkey, watch the late local news, then get us. 11 p.m. Thanksgiving night, we break down Tennessee Vandy. Be a good show. We will come back and talk about who's going to win that game. Come on back.